Okay guys, so in this video I'm going to show you guys how to be making a train, and as you can see I'm not in the usual F3X game I play, which is whimsical building. I'm on Bybat, I think is how it's pronounced. Yeah, it's called Bybat. I'm going to leave a link to it in the description, but the reason I'm here is in this game there are working conveyor belts. As in whimsical building, you have to make your own conveyor belt using this advanced XY system where you have to say click on the block and tell the block to have force in the X direction positive or X direction negative. As here in Bybat, they have blocks with a conveyor belt script in it, and I'm going to show you what that means. So this block here, which you'll be able to very easily find once you join Bybat, it's here on this little table, literally right off from where you spawn over there. It has a conveyor belt script in it in one direction, and it's universal, unlike in Whimsical, where you have to pick a direction and constantly change it as you get it set up. And let me resize this so it works a little bit better for us. And watch. When I jump on this, it's going to push me in this direction. But if I rotate this block, it's going to still push me in that direction no matter what. So now you notice that I changed the direction it's facing, so now it's facing that way. I can make it face this way, it's going to do that. But if you're in whimsical building and you tell a block to have velocity in the X direction, if you rotate it in the Y direction, it's no longer going to have velocity. As here in Bybat building, these conveyor blocks have this conveyor script, which will really help you guys. So now I'm going to start building the train. How we're going to build the train is we're going to use this block as our motor for the train, which seems a little confusing. So first I got to figure out which direction this thing wants to go. And then I'm going to go ahead and resize it. So you can see this is our build tool. Make sure you have your build tool out as always. Go ahead and click on your conveyor block, and I'm going to make it look more like a conveyor by making it diamond plated. And how I did that is you go over to the gear here on your toolbar in your build tool, you click on it, go to material, and go to diamond plate. And now I'm going to go ahead and resize it. You guys know the resize tool, it's over here, these little bubbles. And I'm going to make it pretty tiny, but not too tiny. And if you guys have problems making it small, go over to the left side of your screen and set your increment to 0.0001. Now I'm going to scale it down, and I'm going to move it with the Z tool or the cross tool up, and I'm going to start copying it so we can sort of make this push block. So how you copy is Shift-C, like this, and you pull it down. We're going to make sort of like a square of these blocks, like this. And the reason for this is so it can grip the track we're going to make. Now, this is for a roller coaster we're going to make, and it's not quite going to be a roller coaster because what's going to happen with these conveyor blocks is it's always going to want to be pushing, and it's never going to stop. Unlike with a roller coaster, you have something pull your cart up and push down. But don't worry, in the next video, or if I have time in this video, I'll show you guys how to use these same conveyor blocks to make a classical roller coaster is what we'll call it. But right now we're making sort of a tram. So now that we have this square of push blocks, is what we'll call them, we need to add a normal block. So go over to your Build Tools toolbar, go to the plus sign, and click the ground. And you should just get a normal block like this. If you don't, go to the plus sign and go to the left side of the screen and select normal block and then click the ground. Now, what I'm going to do is move this block up and put it inside of this so we can start making the shape of our track, which is literally just going to be a square piece that this thing can very easily follow. And now I'll show you how this works. So now, you can see we have our test track, our test piece here. I'm going to go to the Z tool or the cross tool, hold shift and click off in the middle of nowhere and drag, and select everything. I'm going to go around the other side, hold Shift-C, and then move my copy over like this. So now you can see that I have a copy of what I just had there. And now I'm going to weld all this green to each other. Don't weld that. So click off in the middle of nowhere, drag, select everything, hold shift, click on the rail, which will deselect it. Go over here to this little chain, click it, click weld to last, and then we just unanchor it and watch, see how it travels along our track. Beautiful, right? So now we sort of have a trolley, and then it falls off the track, of course. But now we're actually going to make a trolley car that should follow this, and then I'll show you guys how to make the track turn, and then the train will follow that turn, and you'll have a perfect loop like a Christmas train if you've ever seen a Christmas train. So that's the next really big step for us. So now I just selected everything. I'll show you how to select everything one more time. You just click off in the middle nowhere and drag, and it grabs everything. You don't have to hold shift every time when you select like that. We're going to copy this rail line here. So we're going to hold shift C, copy it, and this will be the first piece of our train car. We're going to go to our resize tool, which is these little bubbles here, and we're going to go to the left side of the screen and hit both, center it like this, and then go back to the left side of the screen and click normal, and then take it down like this, so that our car sits way beneath the track. We can even, if we really wanted to, make it sit a little bit closer to the track like that. Now we're going to copy this block like this, and start building our train car. And we don't want our train car to be lopsided because that will look funny, and in real life that would cause all sorts of problems with gravity. So we're going to go over to the left side of our screen and click both again in our resize tool, and make a piece that looks sort of like this, and then stretch it out like this. And then, is this person going to try and troll here? Okay, sorry, I was just checking to see if that person was going to try and crush everybody. People building games like this always try and do that. Now go to the left side of your screen and click normal, and then go over to the right side of your screen and click on the plus tool / Z tool, and copy this block and drag it down. And now you have a little trolley car. Now, you can make this car look however you want, but I'm going to make my car just look like this. Now we're going to go over to the plus tool, or the J tool, go over to the left side of your screen, select from the part type or parts list, seat, and then just add a seat anywhere that you can sit in. I'm trying to see if it will let me sit. There we go. Now the next step is to copy all of this. So we walk away from it a little bit, we click, we drag, then we hold Shift C. And remember just to pull the copy out of the original. You don't want stuff to stack up, that can cause problems. Now we click, we drag, and we select all of the green, and we select all these parts down here. But we want to hold shift and click on our trolley track, and then that would deselect the track, and then we weld our train car to the green like this. And that uses the chain tool here, and weld to last. Remember to click weld to last. And then we can unanchor it, and it should work like this. Karate, karate, spaghetti. Looks like it's malfunctioning, but it should work if the thing is not too heavy. But it looks like my train is a little bit too heavy and needs some help. So all we have to do to fix this problem is make the track a little tinier. So I'm just going to anchor my train here. Use the both tool. Make the track a little tinier. Select everything. Unanchor it. And there we go. Now it moves. It doesn't look very beautiful, but it works. So as you can see, we made a working trolley. Now the next step is to make the track turn. Now there's plenty of time left in this video for me to show you guys how to make the track turn. And it should only take a second. So give me a second to think this out and then do it for you. So what you gotta do is you gotta click on your trolley track, hold Shift C, and copy it. So now we have two pieces of track like this. Next step is you gotta click on your piece of track again, copy it again, pull it out like this, set it in. See how I'm moving that with the move tool? Next we're going to resize with the resize tool, because it's very important that we make a very tiny piece like this so we can get a perfect turn. Because if you don't make a perfect turn, then the train will just get stuck on all the imperfections. So I'm just going to keep making it really tiny, pull it in, and I'm going to just make sure that our turn works on the first try, because if it doesn't, then I'm going to resize it. See how this cuts through like that? You don't want your circle to have those sort of imperfections. So now I'm going to go back, use the both tool on the resize tool, and make this even smaller, and go ahead and try and copy and rotate again. As you can see, this should work pretty well. So now I'm just copying and rotating my track here, which should slowly but surely make a perfect circle. And I have the piece from this side and the piece on this side selected as I'm doing that. Oh, looks like someone tried to crush me. How generous of them. And now we have almost a perfect circle. The next step is to cut out all the imperfections. So like this side we don't really need. Then we just connect our trolley track to that. And I'm going to change my trolley so it has a little bit less weight going on. And now I'm going to just copy this side's turn to this side. And now this should go perfectly around this track. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy all this. Just click off in the distance, drag, select it all, and hold Shift C and pull the copy out of the original, and weld my train as always to itself, and deselect that piece of track. And this is what we should get, is a trolley that slowly wiggles along. I know it's pretty sad. It's just because this doesn't move fast enough. But how you can fix that, because we're in Buybat, is you can run over here and grab a faster conveyor belt. So this block here moves a little faster. And this is how I'm going to fix mine, because if we delete this train here, this thing will ride the track perfectly. As a good presentation of how the track works. See, it's just this train here is way too heavy. So all I'm going to do is go in to my trolley block here, and I'm going to change it out for a more powerful engine. This green block here moves faster than the other one, so I'm just going to paint it black and hook it up here. Copy it, move it to the bottom, make sure it's making somewhat good contact. If you have to change your increments on your move tool, do so. Changing increments on the move tool is the same thing as changing increments on the resize tool. Then I'm going to copy these and rotate them. Actually, don't rotate them because that will change the direction of movement. Copy just the top one, pull it down like this, so you get a sidebar. Copy that side, pull it over, make sure it touches the bar. Then just copy your train over onto the track. Weld everything together. How you do that, once again, is you go to this little chain tool over here, you click it, you hit weld to last, and then we unanchor it with this little boat anchor. And your train should just run. For some reason they all want to bully me. Huh. Yeah, I know, Overlord KBJ. Why doesn't my train work? You know what I bet? second. Huh. Come in here, little block thing. You know what I didn't think about? The direction of the block. That's what's wrong with it. Haha. Punishment. Okay. So make sure you didn't do what I did, because I'm sure you'll do what I did. Is when you take this block, its force is going this way, and I tried to put it on this way. So make sure you take this block, copy it, and put it on the track facing this way, because that caused some problems. And then just copy the bottom piece, string it up like this, and just make a copy of that like this, and make them grip the track. Because that's why my train wasn't moving. It's a good thing that was fixable, and now I'm just going to test it. Looks like it all works even though it explodes. So now I'm just going to copy my train. Nothing like a good exploding train. And then I'm going to weld everything together. And then just let it off. There we go. Now I have a perfectly good working train. Even though the corner doesn't work so good. You still can see how it's going around this curve pretty good. Now the reason it's not going around this curve very well is because this motor isn't very strong, and also because you can see that there's slight imperfections in my turn. So you need to make sure you make your turn perfect, otherwise it won't go around. And also remember to not do what I did and make your motor wrong. Thank you. I'm going to make another video on trains and roller coasters, so this is just episode 1. Thank you.